Welcome to Amsterdam, the first of many tram shots I'm going to shoot for you. We used to have trams all over America, but got rid of most of them when the great American streets and byways were paved for Henry Ford's Model T. And look what we've been missing. A quick swish pan for you there, and a zoom in for a passing shot going away. Are these about the wackiest things you've seen this side of San Francisco? Look at that. Throw in a few thousand bikes, and it's like welcome to Toy Town. And then they got these canals all over the place, but never far away from, you guessed it, trams. Blue trams and yellow trams, and blue and yellow trams, and trams of every shape and color under the sun, including psychedelic, but that's another story. Okay, I'll pan for the going away shot. And in comes the blue and yellow into my frame, making a gray end of winter cityscape more than a little askew, just a little wacky. "1620 is the date on this church. Amsterdam was built on very soft ground, so there's no huge buildings. The beauty and charm of this place is found in the details. It's been raining lately, as evidenced by this art shot. Drink it in. One of the many cobbled squares with gabled backdrops. Looking a little bare in winter now, but with that handsome European thing going for it. This is a symbol of Amsterdam the world over, the statue of the street urchin. Little Darling is the rough translation. It's spelled Hetlieverddje. Now, how do you pronounce D-J-E? Screw it, it's Little Darling. It was given to the city by a tobacco company in 1960 to symbolize the pesky street kid with a heart of gold. Yeah, right. This square was the rallying point in the 60s for Amsterdam's version of the hippie movement. They called their hippies provos for short, after provoke or provocation. And this provo social movement laid the basis for what Amsterdam is today. A busy little capital bent on making huge amounts of money, but with a heart of gold, in the form of tolerance. Tolerance for lifestyles of others, for the beliefs and practices of others. In other words, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, all punctuated with these gaily painted worms wriggling through these brick-lined cobbled streets. Really extraordinary. Now, land is expensive since they had to reclaim it from the sea, so houses, as we can get a shot here, are all tall and narrow with a small footprint, but they've got these beams projecting off the top of them that they use to haul stuff up with. I mean, we're talking about pianos and refrigerators here, folks. These are heavy-duty apparati here. Let's see if I can catch some of the action here. They had two really bad fires in the 1400s, so after that they stipulated that all houses would be built of brick instead of wood. Well, not a very heavy load, but serves the purpose of demonstration. Okay, let's see if I can get a better shot of this for you to show you how they haul stuff up to the top floors instead of trying to get things up through narrow staircases. Pretty neat way to do it. Okay, time for a montage. back to sixth grade history now. The Dutch East India Company grew rich by trading with the Far East. They had colonies in Indonesia, and consequently Indonesian cuisine is all over the place here in Amsterdam. Oh look, an eat house. Let's go have a meal at an eat house. Amsterdam's got great statues all over the place. This is a nude torso, that tolerance thing again. Now, you can get real nude torsos in the red light district. I'll try to sneak a camera over there later for you. Uh-oh, change the channel. Chuck's going mondo in Amsterdam. Wake the dog and hide the kids. Look at this modern building in the middle of old Amsterdam. What's this? Another tram. Another great statue here. Let's see if we can get a closer look. Perfect. Nobody does cobblestones or these tiny pavers like the Europeans. Trouble is, they're always tearing them up for pipes and cables and stuff. Hey, get out of my shop. Hey, hey. Amsterdam was built on soggy ground. The people came here to this godforsaken swamp because that's what people do, to make new opportunity for themselves and to get away from other people. Hell, the Romans didn't even bother with this place. So the people drained the water out of the swamps and drove thick stakes into the soft ground to support their buildings, and then proceeded to become one of the richest city-states in the world by trading with the Far East. Sound familiar? It's Venice, for crying out loud, and eerily similar story to Venice is a couple of hundred years later. Now, right near here is where they built the first dam settlement. Now, let me say that again. Near here is where they first dammed the river Amstel and made their settlement. Amstel Dam. Right near here in this Dam Square. I'll say that again. This is Dam Square, where they built the, you know what I mean. Amsterdam has about 800,000 people in it, so it's a big city. But because it couldn't build very tall because of the soft ground, and I suppose because of Protestant restraint, sober Calvinist sensibilities built this place. Because of these factors, it doesn't look very big. Amsterdam feels like a town. A huge town, granted, a really big-ass town to be sure, but it feels like a town as opposed to a huge city. Zoom in for a shot down this street here. The buildings may not be tall, but they're intricately detailed. Hey, the rain stopped. All right. Turning into a nice day, finally. More cobbles. Get a closer look here. Now, besides trams, a defining characteristic of Amsterdam for me is bikes. Oh yes, got the slow-mo going here. You'll see all manner of humankind draped on bicycles here in Amsterdam. Another great bronze here. Get a closer look at this guy. Central Station. This is where you arrive into Amsterdam if you've come by rail. It's a handsome interior here. Here's where you'll be assailed by numerous panhandlers and pickpockets. Be advised. Looking fine enough today with the sun streaming in. And outside the station is the terminus for the tram lines, which snake from here throughout the city. There's an extra A in Central Station's spelling, which makes you want to say Central Station. All the stands for the trolleys are here, and with the sun drenching this place in a bright but winter light. A lot of action around Central Station, but you don't want to spend too much time here. Tight squeeze, watch it, lady. Oh! Careful. Here's the tourist info center in the station yard here. Okay, more tram action. I can't get enough of these guys. We know, Chuck, we know. Uh-oh. Europe's pavement's always tough on rollerblades and skateboards, but hey, well, he seems to be doing all right for himself. Every time the city expanded, it built a new wall and defensive moat or canal to keep out the others. That's why there's these concentric rings of canals in Amsterdam. Bet you didn't know that. Hey, who cares, Chuck? Let's go to the red light district. Okay. This is the old kirk, the old church. Let's get an establishing shot here. It's right on the edge of the red light district. Incongruously, quite happily coexisting here on the edge of the red light district. Here's a great sign for you. I'll get a tighter shot. Ah, yes, European frankness about bodily functions. European? I guess you are. Still here in front of the old church, but since we're on the edge of the red light district, we have a suitable bronze set into the cobblestones here. Perfect, absolutely perfect. What a sense of humor somebody has. And perfect tolerance from the church on whose pavement this is set. Uh-oh, our first coffee house. Now, soft drugs are decriminalized here in Amsterdam, so if a coffee house has lots of houseplants in the window or is covered in psychedelia, as is the venerable bulldog here, you can have a coffee and a smoke in perfect harmony with the other aspects of the social fabric of this wonderfully progressive and freedom-loving place. Makes back home feel like Dachau sometime. Makes back home a scary place to be sometime if you're 25 years old and experimenting in spiritual discovery of the psychotropic variety. Our much vaunted freedoms back home really do fade into sepia tones after floating out of a coffee house and out onto one of these canals. In this city full of sober Calvinist sensibility, but which incongruously, deliriously says, you don't have to think like me. And as a byproduct of its tolerant nature, which stresses education, not incarceration, Amsterdam has far superior HIV and drug addiction statistics than most so-called civilized countries. And absolutely Danny for all your sexual desires. See the for a closer shot here? Well, it's not my cup of tea, but maybe it's yours. Now, most of the world's capitals are microcosms of the rest of their country, but not Amsterdam. It's completely removed from the rest of the country in terms of lifestyle and outlook. These tree-lined streets must leaf out wonderfully in the spring. Spring would be a great time to be here. We have to deal with cold winter light. Right. Night is approaching fast and the shadows are becoming all soft and blue from the dimming sky. Time to venture into a coffee house. Now, I checked out all the guidebooks. Yes, the guidebooks here have listings and reviews of all the coffee houses in Amsterdam, and this one, coming up here in my frame, looks like the one for me. No loud music, they say, no tourists, just quiet contemplation and muted conversation from a farther room. Let's see if I can zoom into it for you here. Kadinsky, Sounds good. Still expecting the Gestapo to be lurking in the shadows like it's all a big trap by Interpol to bust some unsuspecting tourist. Takes me back 25 years. Okay, looks cool enough. What the hell? Well, that wasn't so hard. Walked in, asked to see a menu, saw names like Waterfall and Northern Lights and Widowmaker. Best avoid that one. Here's the plant, which indicates that this is a smoking coffee house. Got a nice cup of coffee here. Pleasant view out the window. Sitting among some fine, upstanding, God-fearing citizens of the coolest city on earth. Now, sure, some people take this freedom to excess, but others of us take food to excess, or cigarettes, or meanness, or arrogance to excess, and we don't throw them in jail, do we? For who hath measured the distance, and who among us will cast the first stone? Actually, the pity is that there are many among us who are willing to cast the first stone. That's the scary part. When someone is so sure of themselves and their point of view that they're intent on ignoring the personal God and man-given rights of others. Shout out the interior here. But hey, tonight in Amsterdam at least, here in front of Kadinsky Coffee House, everything is mellow and cool. And the world is once again spinning in greased grooves. There are so many bikes in Amsterdam that about 10,000 of them are dredged out of the canals every year. Every night about 1/3 of the water in the city's canals is replaced by fresh water. Speaking of bikes, a not uncommon sight. Two people pedaling and talking as they drift silently through the darkened streets. This is a very rich place, but even in its golden period for the first 60 years of the 1600s, when it was its richest, 85% of the population was too poor to pay the 3 guilders for a proper burial. On one hand, Amsterdam is the pleasure capital of Europe, sex and drugs, and yet it's populated with bankers and lawyers and traders and entrepreneurs and lots of old and new moneyed people who are intent on making huge amounts of more money, and they succeed very well in that endeavor. What an incongruous city. It's a commercial center of Europe serviced by a great airport in Schiphol, whatever they call it. And it's a cultural center with more museums than most cities. It's suit and tie conservatism in the pleasure dome. It's spick and span clean in typically Dutch fashion. And it's the capital of European counterculture. What a wacky place. And it's got these great trams. And, never too far away, the sex trade. Let's take a closer look and see what we got here. There's some lingerie and sex toys and magazines. I tell you, this city must have either the most screwed up or the most well-adjusted kids in the world. Grown-ups, too, for that matter, I guess. The Jews were expelled from Portugal in the 1300s, and the tolerant Dutch allowed them to settle here, bringing their knowledge of gemstones with them. Okay, I'm going to let my camera play upon the night scene for a while and let you form your own impressions. Maybe even come up with a narration of your own. Let's just listen for a while. Check the bike action on this corner. Oh, riding two on a bike. Riding the dog. All ages, all genders. And in Amsterdam, you gotta know, there's more than two genders here. Okay, I've loaded up some of the Dutch language on the CG for you. See if I can punch. There we go. Check this out. I'll read it along with you. There's three lines here. The first one is the English, of course. The second one is how it's actually spelled in Dutch. And then the third one is the phonetic pronunciation of it. So I'm sorry I don't speak Dutch. You would try to communicate by saying, Het spijt me, ik spreek geen Nederlands. The next one is I don't understand. And the second line, of course, is how it's spelled. Try to encounter that when you're trying to make yourself understood. But the phonetic pronunciation is ik begrip het niet. Are you kidding me? H-E-T is pronounced t. T. Ik begrip het niet. But this is the best one. Do you speak English? Spreekt u Engels? I said this one a lot. Spreekt u Engels? No, no. Spreekt u Engels? No, no. Traveling, lose that. Traveling is such fun. I mean, it's tantamount to us walking around in Kalamazoo and having a foreigner walk up to us and go, "Excuse me, do you speak Dutch?" And they think they're speaking in perfect English. Oh well, the joys of travel. Okay, we've been seeing him on the streets, now let's ride one, as it squeaks and squeals its way through the town. You buy a ticket and then have it punched by a machine on the tram. These machines are notorious for not working well, but if you're caught without a punched or marked ticket by a spot checker, you pay a hefty fine, so have it punched by the driver if you're unsure. Great bronze. I'll zoom in for a closer look. Are you hungry? Here's an Eat Cafe. I don't know if they pronounce it that way or not, but they should. We're right in front of Rembrandt's house now. During his time, the Dutch were wild about painting, and they definitely could afford it. It's estimated that there were 20 million paintings done here in Amsterdam in the 1600s. Pan up without getting my lens wet. The interior of Rembrandt's house is suitably decked with the great artist's work. And it's back into the rain. Look at this poor guy. Oh, can he make it? Yes, he does. And the brolly goes back up. Great cinema here. Check out the details. One of the grandest buildings in Amsterdam. And of course, not very far away, more sex. And cohabitating nicely nearby, some real art. Oh, no, not exactly. More sex again. There's the beer of choice in Amsterdam. Heine, brewed right here. Have you been wondering about these great-looking houses lining the canal? Well, this one we can go into as soon as I finish this exterior shot. Built by the rich merchants in the spice trade. Reminds me of the palazzi in Venice, doesn't it? Only on a less grandiose scale. But still suitably opulent for rich burghers and traders. Another coffee house. Is it a smoking coffee house? Oh, yeah. I'd say so. Definitely. But no time. Gotta press on if you want to see more of Amsterdam. Nice looking shop here. Let's see if we can catch a craftsperson at work. Yeah, quick zoom in. Yeah, there we go. Sewing a teddy bear. Okay, here's the tough part. Anne Frank's house. A lasting testament to man's barbarism toward man. It's closed now, so we can't go in, but I'll read from the brochure here as soon as I finish this tilt down and get it out of my pocket. This will be from her diary, July 15th, 1944. Alright, this is from Anne's diary. I see how the world is slowly becoming a desert. I hear more and more closely the approaching thunder that will kill us. And of course, as we know, it did. Rest in peace. Jews, homosexuals, gypsies. Of 80,000 Jews in Amsterdam before the war, only 5,000 to 10,000 remained afterwards. Let it never happen again. Anywhere. Anywhere in the world. rain-soaked canal side street. You know what kept all the swampy water out of the low-lying Amsterdam? Windmills. They pumped water out into the next higher field, where another windmill pumped it to the next field, etc., and out back into the sea. Night in the city. Okay, red light district. This entrance here, guarded by the Grasshopper, one of the oldest and loudest and touristy smoking joints around. Well, we can't be far now. These sex shops are more plentiful and become more graphic. And here it is, mostly on either side of the canal, and continuing on the side streets. It's a little early to be in full swing, but this is where it'll definitely be happening until the wee hours of the morning. I'll zoom in here for a closer look at the merchandise. And speaking of merchandise, don't forget, prostitution is decriminalized in Amsterdam too. Real, living, breathing flesh is for sale in this town. The cameras are not tolerated around here, but I gotta show you some of it. Keep one eye out for the bouncers. Okay, I'll get a better angle on that pink neon and black light action there. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Human flesh for sale. I'll slow-mo it to get rid of the telephoto shakes. Okay, there we are. Jezebel and Fifi. Some of you are thinking Sodom and Gomorrah, I'm sure, and others of you are wondering how much airfare is to Amsterdam. They're a little glowing because of the black, little black light. There we go. There are hundreds of samples, shall we say, on any given night here in the red light district. They stand in the window, you go in and negotiate a price, they draw the drapes, and then you experience the world's oldest profession. Whether it leaves you happy and satisfied or cold and soulless is, I suppose, in large part entirely up to who you are, or how desperate you are, I suppose. Hey, get out of my frame. Hey, I'm a documentarian, man, move it. Okay, back to the documentary. Uh-oh, looks like she's got the call. She's going downstairs to greet a customer, taking her lean, lithe, taking her soulless, pockmarked vessel of contagion down to another hapless victim, seeking comfort and intimacy in a cold, heartless wilderness of aggression and apathy, desperately in need of a stranger's hand. Or perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. Something between tolerance and a cold Amsterdam night. Okay, a nighttime tram ride home and to bed. What twisted sugar plums shall dance in my head tonight? Amsterdam. Moral and loose, sober and ecstatically out of control. The contradictions can scramble your sensibilities, unless you kind of get in a weird little zone becoming so foreign to us in America. A place where you say, hey, not for me, no thanks, but hey, to each his own, I suppose. I won't oppress you if you don't oppress me. Because I think we are basically a tolerant people in our own way, we Americans, most of us. If we remember to be. If we try just a little harder sometime. Good night, Amsterdam. And goodbye. It's off to Belgium tomorrow, but hey, glad to know you. Glad to have made your acquaintance. In the 1600s, the Dutch became fabulously wealthy by bringing goods from the Far East and selling them to the folks in Europe. The Dutch East India Company, does this sound familiar? Well, they also started the Dutch West India Company. Don't forget, it was the Dutch who bought what is now Manhattan Island from the Indians for, what, $24? And they named it, the city there, New Amsterdam. And names like Harlem and Staten Island and Brooklyn all derived from Dutch names. Well, they lost it, of course, to the English, who renamed it New York, and the rest is history. Okay, on the train to Belgium. Brussels and Bruges, to be specific. This is going to be a great ride because I've already scoped out some great shots if I can get them for you. And here's one coming up. A little scene on the opposite side of the aisle. Let's see if I can get it for you. Quick grab into slow-mo. Yeah, got it. And the follow-through. Okay, here's another great shot. By shooting through the window, I can get some great candid shots of this happy couple without their knowing. If I'm nonchalant enough to be cool about it. Oh, this is perfect, very sweet. Typical countryside, could be anywhere in Europe. And another photo op coming up. Oops, sorry about that. Ooh, sorry. Let's see if I can grab that shot there. If I can find the slow-mo real quick. There we go. Uh-oh, busted. And back to the Belgian countryside. Standing here in Bruges, one of the best preserved medieval towns in Europe, and what's the first thing we see? This train station in the Art Deco style. I love it. Really fabulous, though. Well, we are in Europe, where bicycles are an important mode of transportation. Going back in time now. These well-preserved streets harkening back to Bruges' golden years in the 1200s. Bruges in Flanders, which is the northern half of Belgium. Things to do with Flanders are called Flemish. Look at these old streets. Zoom in for a closer look here. And a zoom out too wide. Walking progressively back through time here. Look at that kid, Cal. Rollerblades are a real tough gig in most places in Europe. Not made for cobblestones and pavers. And a pan across the offending stones. And here's a close-up shot of a rollerblader's nightmare. Studying contrasts here. Oop, quick glance to make sure we're watching, and a quick drive away as an earlier form of transport clumps into the scene. Bruges is a modern town too, with haute couture. We are next to France after all. Shot of the so-called Belfry here in Market Square, spelled Marked Square with no E. And a quick tilt down, if I can find it. I saw it a minute ago when I wasn't looking through Viewfinder. There it is. The national condiment, mayo. Mayo on chips, mayo on everything. Believe it or not, it's pretty good. This is a great model of the building we stand before and the rest of the square. It's a Sunday, so there's a lot of tourists today. But I do love these little models. great houses and buildings lining the square. Dutch, French, and German is spoken in Belgium, and here in Flanders they speak Dutch. And there we are in ultra miniature Market Square. In the 1600s, Norsemen named this place Brugia, which means mooring place. Heroic statue, frozen eyes looking off into the distance. Well, they said the canal boat ride was worth it, and they were right. A great prospect on Old Bruges.
Rechts de groene rij, een geliefkoze plaats voor kunstschilders tussen beide oude bruggen. À droite, le quai vert, une place préférée pour les artistes peintres parmi les deux lieux cultes. On the modern part.
Modern buildings too, nestled in among the old.
The old Flemish 18th century style again. À droite, quelques reconstructions dans le style flamand du 18e siècle.
Art shop. And elevator shot up, and I'm going to switch hands and show you my fellow travelers, if I can do it over my shoulder. Are we having fun yet? Yes, Chuck, but we could use a drink.
Voor het ogenblik leeg onbewoond. En dit wegens de te hoge restauratiekosten. Jaren geleden hadden ze een leegstand van bijna 10%. Environ 5% des vieux bâtiments dans le centre de la ville donc sont inhabités maintenant à cause des restaurations qui coûtent très très cher. Au début des années, c'était même presque 10%. Donc ça diminue maintenant. Deze was niet naar de andere lijn. Voilà. Zo van de avond.
Back on the streets of Bruges again, standing next to the shop from which is coming the most delicious smells of Belgian chocolate. Well, that was nice. An afternoon in Bruges. And here's that railway station, thankfully a little way away from the medieval parts of town, so it can occupy its own special place in this truly delightful city. Well, it's back on the train and off to the de facto capital of the European Union, Brussels. And the end of the day brings us to our digs in Brussels. Great place to be, just a stone's throw from the Grand Place, the big square in town, with a lot of action just below in the mini square here. Brussels is a far more sophisticated city than Bruges. It's the capital of the European Union, after all. Check this out. A crawling furry eater. Otherwise known as a street cleaner. This is the world-famous Grand Place, often compared to Venice's Piazza San Marco. Many of the buildings here in the Grand Place date from 1695, when they were reconstructed from older buildings into the Baroque style. There's still plenty of Gothic elements here, though. These buildings served as trading and mercantile guild houses. The guilds were like the unions, the union of the tradespeople and craftspeople, etc. And they were very jealous of their power and very powerful in their day. Beautiful detail here. Lots of gilt here in that old money European way. This is the heart of Brussels, but it's not a museum. There are cafes and restaurants and shops here. There's private housing, apartments. There's banks. There's a hotel in this square. The names of painters, Van Eyck, Bruegel, Rubens, echo through the Belgian urbanscape here. And not to mention Magritte, more on him later. But yes, it's pleasant enough here in the Grand Place. Looks like a painting, doesn't it, as we stand here nestled between France and the Netherlands and next to Germany. Brussels is a city of 1 million people, and just outside this place, Napoleon met his match near the village of Waterloo. Okay, time to leave the Grand Place and hit the streets. See if we can scare up some Belgian waffles or something. I'll zoom in here for some of this ornate detail. Hey, what's that? Uh-oh, that guy again. Pretty cool. Hey. Hey! Uh-oh. Some street action. Where's that slow-mo? Oh, there it is. Got it. Hey, hey. Hey, babe. Got her. Where are the kids? Ciao. see this. Everyone who passes this bronze statue runs their hand from the top to the bottom. You can see how the patina has worn off the metal. Very evocative statue. I wish I knew the story. I couldn't find it in any of the guidebooks that I was reading on the train. Very dramatic. Brussels is the center for many organizations, both diplomatic and business. The European Parliament sits here as this widely disparate group of ancient enemies, I'm talking about Europe here, tries to put old animosities aside and move to a more unified relationship. Good luck. They'll need it. Okay, there they are. The world famous, the delicious Belgian waffle. I'm going to show you the famous statue which has become the tourist symbol of the city, much to the city father's chagrin. Let's see if I can get a shot of it here for you. Mannequin piss, with only one S. Doesn't matter, we get the point. This statue is an exact replica of the one that tiddled here since the 1600s. There's a good shot for you. Oh, those Europeans, I don't know. They're European again. And if you want a pissing pooty of your own, there you go, every size and shape. A statue, that is. There's a beautiful shot. Moonlight over Brussels. Grand Place looks completely different at night, doesn't it? Well, I'm losing it, folks. Getting tired. Gonna have to make my way back to the hotel. I'll slowly amble there on the way, though, and sort of hang out here just a little bit longer. Well, I promised you Magritte, and here he is. He was Belgian, you know. I love Magritte. Covered restaurant and marketplace adjacent to the Grand Place. Directly in front of the hotel now. Had to get a shot of these statues here, of course. A lot of statues in Europe, in case you haven't noticed. Got to show you the night shot from my room. Wish I wasn't so tired, I'd have lasted longer. Get this window open here. 3 countries in 5 days. If it's Tuesday, this must be Belgium. Well, there it is. The pseudo-capital of Europe if the Union holds. And a great city even if it doesn't. Okay, folks, the city's just firing up, but I'm fading fast. Hope you enjoyed this tour of a little bit of Northern Europe as much as I did. Next time I'll have to spend longer in one place, get to know it better. But for a long weekend, this wasn't bad. Good night, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.